I had a thought the other day, and it's that our subscribers doubled since we came to the US, which means probably about 50% of you guys don't know that Jin and I actually met in Korea and lived in Korea together. And that means you guys might not know why Jin and I currently live in the US. So if we go all the way back to Jin and I's very first date, you have to know that Jin and I talked about everything on that first date. And one important thing that I told Jin was my mom's health is not good. I'm not going to stay in Korea forever. I need to go back to take care of her.
And I agreed.
Yeah, and Jin agreed. So we got married really quickly. We applied for Jin's status in the US as soon as possible. And even Jin's mom said she would come to the US with us to help take care of my mom together as a family. And as soon as we did all of that, COVID happened. So everything got delayed.
Hey!
Hi! I'm Jin's mom.
And I am Raye's mom.
How are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
I am good.
Excellent.
Nice to meet you.
It is so wonderful to meet you too. It's so nice to see your face.
You're young and beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you. Wow. Oh, you're wearing it.
Yeah. I like it. It's beautiful and warm.
Good. I just wanted to give you something, from my heart. I'm glad. I'm happy Jin is part of our family. And so now you're part of our family and it makes me happy. So thank you.
Thank you so much for raising a pretty daughter and marrying my son.
Oh, he's so wonderful. He's just so sweet. Love Jin to death.
It was nice to call you.
Yes, I'm so glad. And so hopefully sometime we can meet together in person instead of on the phone.
Okay, I hope to see you later when the COVID-19 is over.
Yes.
I hope you are healthy.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I speak to Jim?
Sure.
방금 여러분들께서 보신 영상은 저희 엄마랑 장모님이랑 처음으로 영상통화를 한 영상인데 되게 귀한 영상이에요. 저희 엄마 되게 자신있게 영어로 잘하셨죠?
It was so cute. I can't believe how confident your mom was. But it's really unfortunate because your mom and my mom never got to meet in person. Unfortunately, 2 or 3 weeks before Jin and I were all set to move back to the US to be with my mom, she passed away unexpectedly. So after Jin and I went through the entire process for several years to come here, we ended up here alone with no family around us. However, Jin's mom still has a dream to be together with us here in the US, and she's already started preparing for that. One of the ways she's preparing is by studying English again. Because my mother-in-law is a very smart, highly educated woman, and she did live in the US for many years. So it's not like she's bad at English. It's just living in Korea, you don't really have to use it often.
참고로 저희 엄마를 좀 자랑하자면 저 이대 나온 여자라서 굉장히 할 땐 하고 자신감이 넘치는 여자세요.
Since my mother-in-law is a busy working woman, I recommended that she study English in a really casual, stress-free way. So I recommended that she use Duolingo, which you guys have probably all heard of because it's the #1 language learning app in the world. I used that app before I went to Korea to study Korean, and when I was in Korea, I probably recommended it to hundreds of my students of all ages, especially my 유학생s, because they need to prepare to live in other countries, and it's like a really easy, free app for them to use. So anyway, my mother-in-law downloaded it, and she's been diligently practicing her English skills with Duolingo, and she even sent us video proof of how much fun she's been having with it. So we have to watch it together because it's so freaking adorable.
영어가 싫어서 대학도 불어로 들어갔더니 아들이 미국 여자랑 결혼할 줄 누가 알았어? This is my favorite coffee shop. 여기는 내가 가장 좋아하는 커피숍이야. 요즘은 영어 공부도 게임처럼 하네.
See, I told you it's like a game, right?
Yeah.
미국에서 혼자 쇼핑할 줄도 알아야 되겠지? Excuse me, how much is the black dress? Excuse me, how much is the black dress?
I like that it gives you useful phrases like
yeah.
this.
저희 엄마 유튜버 해도 되겠죠?
Yeah, I know, right?
영어 공부하느라고 시간 가는 줄도 몰랐네. Sorry, I'm late.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute. She did a good job.
엄청 잘하셨어요. 저희가 댓글창을 읽을 때마다 느낀 점인데 저희 채널을 영어 공부하는 목적으로 보신다는 분들이 굉장히 많으세요. 왜냐면 레이가 아나운서처럼 영어 발음이 굉장히 명확하잖아요. 그런데 해외에 나와보시면 아마 멘붕하실 거예요. 왜냐면 다른 사람들은 억양이 다 다르거든요. 액센트들도 다 다르고. 그래서 많은 종류의 영어에 노출되는 게 굉장히 중요하다고 생각이 들어요, 저는.
I'm so glad also that my mother-in-law is having so much fun with this app because that's the same feedback I got from all of my students in Korea too. They say it's really fun and it helps them build a daily study habit because you don't have to practice for long to, you know,
Yeah. It's like a
refresh
game.
your English.
Yeah.
And it's good for all levels too, which is even better. Again, Duolingo is free. They do have a paid service called Super Duolingo that removes ads from the app. Well, hello. That removes ads from the app and also has some additional learning features. And not to mention, you don't have to just study English or Korean. They have over 40 languages, so you can, you know, just have fun with it. We put a link to download it in our description box. And after you download it and test it out, please leave a comment and let me know what you think. I think you're gonna have fun with it. So something else we have to consider before my mother-in-law joins us is the fact that Jin and I currently live in a teeny tiny 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment where you can literally hear everything that goes on in the bathroom. So that's not gonna work for me if your mom lives with us. So that means we have to find something bigger, something with a separate space for your mom to live in that gives us independence and gives your mom some independence. And in English, we even have a term for that. It's called a mother-in-law suite.
한국에는 시어머니랑 사는 게 그렇게 흔치는 않잖아요. 근데 미국에서는 좀 흔한 것 같더라고요. 그래서 영어 단어에 mother-in-law suite, 그러니까 시어머니를 위한 스위트룸이란 단어가 있을 정도로 흔한가 봐요. 그래서 이게 좀 문화 충격이었어요, 저한텐.
Yeah. But house prices these days are crazy. Interest rates are crazy. And we don't make a whole lot of money. So that means we're going to be looking at the cheapest possible properties in our area.
Yeah.
So I am not expecting a whole lot, but we at least have to try.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to try for your mom, for my mother-in-law. We have to be able to make her life comfortable. So
저희 엄마가 제가 어렸을 때 항상 하시던 말씀이 며느리감으로 싸가지 없어도 되니까 능력 있고 똑똑한 여자를 데려와라 그러셨거든요. 근데 엄마가 이게 무슨 복인지 능력도 있고 똑똑하고 예쁜 며느리감을 얻으셨네요. 엄마 운 좋다 진짜.
on that note, let's get going.
Yeah.
Oh, it's your mom's suite. She has access to the kitchen.
Don't make my mama cook.
Okay, so this is like their, oh, it's their laundry room. Okay.
I mean, this house is good.
storage.
This house is actually
I
good.
actually really like this house so far. Jin, you know something I like about this?
What?
Look, if you're usually these are like you just have tiny windows because it's completely underground almost, but this has actually a full-size window. If we make this your mom's suite, like isn't this so nice for her?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got a shower and everything. Yeah, this is great for your mother.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. 레이 참 효녀죠.
What's back here?
저희 엄마 어디서 살지 그거부터 보고 있어요.
There's even bedrooms back here. Wow. Oh, that's so scary though. You can't see out there. Wow.
I think they have many boys.
Yeah. Lots of kids, I think.
여기 축구장 패턴의 그 블랭켓이랑 그리고 하키, 에어 하키, 피아노,
It must
다트.
be like kind of cold and damp down here because
Yeah.
this is just like the. Okay. Wow. I
How
love
much
it.
is this place?
So this is 400K, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom.
So it's 100K per room.
Something like that. And the square footage is so big, 2,000, almost 2,300 square feet. For a lot of the houses we've looked at in this price point, you get only about 1,000 square feet. So this is 2 times the square footage for way less. And I know that this is a good neighborhood, so. 3-car garage.
그렇죠. 여기는 차가 3대나 들어가네요.
They put new windows in at a certain point, and the driveway was new in 2019, so they've upgraded the things that.
Shall we go down to? Oh, I see. Okay, this is really big. So you get this, and this whole area you can choose to fix if you want.
아, 와 여기 큰 공간이 있는데 여기 창고로 쓰면 될 것 같아요. 고쳐서.
It's good. Just imagine your mom has her own bathroom, bedroom, and potentially a whole living space down here.
Yeah.
I mean, with some updates, it's not bad. This one looks hard.
Yeah. I like the industrial interior.
This will be your project, Jin. You can
Like I said,
figure it out.
yeah. Be a lot of work.
It'd be a lot of work, yeah. So my mother-in-law said she's been practicing her English, studying hard, so much so that she even put together a little video message for us in English, and we're gonna watch it together with you guys.
Yeah. It's here.
Hello, my son and daughter. I miss you so much. Raye, you must be sad without your mom. But you can call me mom from now. I pray for you every day. I will always support you. See you in Minnesota soon.
That was so sweet. I mean, you guys might not know that when Jen and I were living in Korea together, all 3 of my remaining immediate family members passed away very unexpectedly. Both of my grandmothers and then my mom, one after the other. And when I moved abroad, I never, ever, ever expected that I would lose my whole family. Even my mom, her health was not good, but it was mostly her mobility. That's not something that you just pass away from. I never in a million years thought that, you know, I would go to Korea and never see my mom again. So it just like, it shows that you never know what could happen. And that's why it's really important for us to, you know, make sure that promise with your mom comes true. We have to make sure that we can be with her again. Right?
제가 장모님한테 딸 돌려드린다고 했는데 제가 약속을 못 지켜드렸거든요. 그래서 항상 죄송하게 생각하고 있어요.
Don't cry. I never see you cry. It's okay.
그래서 저희 목표는 돈 많이 벌어가지고 이렇게 셋이서 이렇게 사는 거예요.
Okay. You know, life is so unpredictable.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you were at least able to meet my mom. I'm glad that my mom and your mom were able to at least have a video call, right? And we've been through a lot together. And we're still here.
Yep.
And we're gonna have a good future together, right?
Yep.
And we're gonna give your mom the best life that we can give her, right? And we're gonna keep working hard. So we'll make it work. Don't cry. I never see you cry.
I'm not
It's
crying.
it's
군대 있을 때도 엄마 안 보고 싶었는데 이게 해외에 나오니까 조금 보고 싶네요.
okay.
Yeah.
We're in this together, right?
Yeah.